And if I don't, maybe that's the end of the road for me. It's a nightmare fight for Dillian Whyte, coming in with no form or activity.
Good fight, actually, especially for Moses. I think it's a very good time to fight Dillian. He's had a couple of years out in the ring. But, you know, make no mistakes, Dillian Whyte is a massive puncher to head and body. I know he's taking it very...
No one who's going to beat him. I just think technically, physically now, he's at the weight and he's adapted and he's adjusted. I mean, he's even adjusted and adapted his weight for this fight individually. I mean, he put on how much weight and slowed the actual feet down because Daniel Dubois' feet were...
People can't stop talking about this match, and Johnny Nelson is one of them. He's not holding back. He says this fight is a bad idea. In his eyes, young Moses has speed, energy, and quick feet that can make anyone look slow. On the other side is 37-year-old Dillian Whyte, worn from years in the ring. Put them together at the O2 in London, and Johnny thinks it's trouble waiting to happen. Some fans even call it the worst fight ever.
Don't do it, Mike. Don't do it, because listen, I can get in the ring with a kid that's never had a fight before, but he's got youth, he's got energy, he's got movement, and he's run rings around you. I can usually outbox most of them because you're a bit too sharp and smart for him. But
Eddie Hearn didn't waste a second before jumping in with his opinion. His words only made the buzz louder, calling Moses the next big thing in boxing. With an amateur record that looks almost perfect, Moses is already being talked about like a future world champion before the fight has even started. But is all this hype getting Dillian Whyte ready for a big win, or setting Moses up for the biggest surprise of the year?
Moses is an exceptional talent. You know, he's been in the game a long time. He's got a very, long-standing amateur record and pedigree.
Adam Catterall and Simon Jordan can see it coming. Everyone in boxing will be watching this fight. The money might be big, but the real goal is for Moses to prove he's more than just talk. If he wins in style, this could be the night he becomes a true superstar.
So you can imagine the number of eyes on the prize that night.
Oh, phenomenal.
I mean, it will be phenomenal.
Whatever way you look at it, it is a huge cash generator.
Dave Coldwell explains it clearly. You have to slow down Moses before his speed takes over. But here's the danger. Try to corner him too soon, and you might be the one getting knocked out.
Fight for him. It's a very difficult fight for him. You can't afford to bite on Itauma's triggers and feints. He's got to land something early to get some respect off of Moses as well. And it's called the body snatcher. I think he's got to dig that body. He's got to try and take away the sharpness from Itauma by investing.
Moses Itauma doesn't just speak, he makes a bold promise. He'll knock Dillian Whyte out in the first or second round. He's sure of himself because he knows he's faster, stronger, and more dangerous. But he's also smart. He's training his mind and body to be ready for all 10 rounds, not just a quick win. That's what makes him a young man with an older fighter's wisdom. Dillian might say he's not bothered, but when an unbeaten fighter tells the world he'll finish you in just 6 minutes, it gets to you. This isn't just talk. Moses is telling everyone, I'll beat you, and I can do it anytime I want.
Guys out in the first and second round, then why not? If anyone was to see how I train in camp, like for this fight, I've done 1 6-rounder, 2 6-rounders, 2 8-rounds, and the rest have been 10s.
And if Moses' words weren't enough, Derek Chisora came in and turned up the heat. Chisora has fought almost every big name in heavyweight boxing, so when he says, don't take this fight, you should probably listen. His warning to Dillian came with a mix of hard truth and dark humor, even joking about going to prison after Moses beats him up. That's not just a joke, it's his honest view of where both fighters stand. Moses is climbing higher with every fight, getting faster, sharper, and hungrier. Dillian, though, is being talked about like a man walking to his own defeat. Chisora wouldn't praise Moses unless he truly believed it, and hearing a battle-tested warrior call this kid on fire is enough to make any Dillian fan nervous.
I even phoned Dylan, like, Dylan, I don't know why you're taking this fight, because this kid is on fire right now, and he's getting better and better. It's not like he's going backwards, he's going forward. Moses is on fire, so we're just gonna decide who's gonna go to prison when Dylan gets
Even Tyson Fury, the man who calls himself the Gypsy King, had to share his thoughts. When Fury, someone who has fought the very best, calls you one of the best of all time, people pay attention. He isn't just saying Moses is talented, he's explaining the nightmare Dillian is about to face. Moses never stops moving, no breaks, no safe moment to catch your breath. Anthony Joshua even admitted it was the most tired he'd ever felt because Moses kept coming non-stop. That kind of pressure doesn't just tire you out, it takes away your hope. For Dillian, this fight isn't about landing one big punch. It's about surviving every second against a man who wants to overwhelm you with speed, skill, and work rate. Fury's praise may feel good for Moses, but for Dillian, it's a loud warning. This guy will not let you breathe.
One of the best of all time. I really do. I think he's one of the best heavyweights of all time. And his movement is so different. One of the things that was interesting, where they were talking about the fight, and AJ was, Tony Bellows was talking about when he fought him, and AJ was saying that when he fought him, it was the most exhausted he's ever been. Because he's always moving. There's no rest with him.
No rest.
There's
no
like constant.
Yeah.
Tony Bellew isn't the type to hand out fake compliments. So when he says no one is gonna beat Moses, it's a big deal. Bellew points to one thing that makes Moses special, his adaptability. That's what turns great fighters into legends. Moses even adjusted his weight just for Dillian, showing not only respect for the fight, but also that he's sharpening every weapon he has. This isn't a man hoping to win. This is a man planning to dominate. Dillian's fans might believe his experience and power can save him, but in boxing, adaptability is the true killer. When your opponent can read you, react, and change their plan in the middle of a fight, your plan A, B, and C all fall apart. Bellew's warning is clear right now. Moses Itauma is on another level, and the rest of the division should be paying attention.
Gonna beat him. I just think technically, physically now, he's at the weight and he's adapted and he's adjusted. I mean, he's even adjusted and adapted his weight for this fight individually. I mean, he put on how much weight and slowed the actual feet down because Daniel Dubois' feet.
This is as brutal as boxing talk gets. No sugarcoating, no polite words. The experts are flat out saying it. Dillian will be sacrificed like a lamb. In their eyes, he's no longer the battle-tested warrior he once was. He's past his prime, running on the fumes of old victories. Moses, on the other hand, isn't just hype. He's the real deal, the next face of the heavyweight division. It's a devastating picture for Dillian, the fading star being used to build the new king. For Moses, it's the ultimate validation, the old guard admitting defeat before a single punch is thrown. In boxing terms, this isn't just a prediction. It's a career obituary for Dillian and a coronation notice for Moses, all in one.
Itauma has the goods. I really do. And I do think Dillian Whyte will get sacrificed like a lamb, but I don't think he's a sacrificial lamb. I think he's an old head who still feels that, you know what, I'm gonna bring in the old school and get rid of the new school and let everybody know that this guy Itauma has no business in the ring with me. Now, if you ask me what happens in that fight, I think Dillian Whyte gets tranquilized. But stop with all this crap about Moses Itauma as a hype job. Dillian Whyte's over the hill. I tell you what, if you said I had to pick one, is Moses Itauma a hype job?
Moses Itauma's confidence borders on audacious, and that's exactly why fans can't get enough of him. At just 20 years old, he's openly saying he believes he's more skilled than Oleksandr Usyk, one of the most technically gifted fighters of this era. That's not arrogance for the cameras. It's conviction forged through years of amateur dominance and a flawless rise in the pros. But Moses isn't delusional. He admits that without the right experience, someone like Usyk could edge him in the later rounds. That kind of self-awareness in a fighter so young is rare. It shows a man already thinking beyond Dillian Whyte, setting his sights on the very peak of the sport. And make no mistake, these comments aren't just for headlines. They're a warning to the heavyweight division. Moses isn't here to take part, he's here to take over. Whyte might be the next hurdle, but listening to him talk, you realize he's just another step in Moses' climb to the throne.
We're just looking at fights to kind of get me into that later round, because I feel like with Usyk, I feel like I've got a better skill set than him, but I feel like towards the later rounds, he'll just outdo me because I've never been in that.
Peter Fury cuts straight to the heart of this fight. Yes, Whyte has the power, the size, and the years of experience, but experience alone doesn't guarantee victory when you're facing a fighter with Moses Itauma's toolkit. Speed, power, ferocity, and angles, that's a nightmare package for any heavyweight, especially one who's shown signs of slowing down. Fury's breakdown isn't dismissive of Whyte's abilities, but it raises the key question, can those tools even function against a man who refuses to stand still? Itauma's mastery of angles means Whyte's biggest weapon, his straight right, will rarely land flush. Every miss will drain energy. Every failed attempt will chip away at confidence. And with Itauma's razor-sharp timing, Whyte could spend the entire fight half a second behind. Fury leaves the thought hanging like a dare. Can the old guard really keep pace with this new breed? If not, this could be a short, brutal night for Dillian Whyte.
Look, it's a good fight to make. Dillian Whyte's got the experience. He's also, he can punch, he's strong, he's a big unit. But can he negate the speed, the power and the ferocity of this young heavyweight coming? And he gives angles, he's a good boxer as well. So that's the thing. You've got experience against somebody who's up and coming that hasn't been tested yet because he's so sharp, so deadly with his punch.
When Liam Smith gave his verdict, it was even more direct. He likes Dillian Whyte, respects everything he's achieved, but sentiment doesn't win fights. His assessment is blunt. Whyte's best days are behind him, and Moses Itauma is the future. Smith isn't just predicting a Moses win, he's predicting a decisive one. That's not about scraping by on points, it's about dominance. It's about Moses controlling the tempo, dictating the exchanges, and leaving zero doubt in the minds of fans or judges. In boxing, when fighters call someone special, it's rarely just about physical gifts. It's about ring IQ, composure under fire, and the ability to shine brightest on the biggest nights. Smith sees all of that in Moses. And in a sport where reputations can be built or shattered in a single evening, Smith's backing carries weight. He's seen enough to believe this will be a passing of the torch moment, whether Whyte is ready for it or not.
I like Dillian, but I think Moses wins and wins well. I think he's a class act. I think Dillian's best days are probably behind him. And I think he's a special talent, Moses. So I think Moses wins.
Dave Allen plays it smart. He gives Whyte his credit, but ultimately sides with Itauma. His reasoning is simple. Inactivity kills in boxing. Long spells out of the ring dull your timing, your rhythm, your instincts. And against someone as sharp and active as Moses, that's a dangerous handicap. Yes, Whyte still carries experience and knockout power, but power means nothing if you can't land it clean. Experience only counts if your body can still keep pace with your mind. Allen does add the standard heavyweight caveat, any result is possible, because one punch can change everything. But even with that in mind, he still picks Itauma. That's telling. For Allen, it's not about the bigger name or the longer resume, it's about who is at their peak right now. And in his eyes, Moses is there, young, fresh, active, and improving with every fight. For Whyte, the mountain looks steep. For Moses, it's just another climb on the way to the top.
Dillian Whyte's not been active for Itauma, so I make Itauma my favourite based on that, but Dillian Whyte's experience, he can punch. No result would surprise me, but I would go with him.
Dillian Whyte's words drip with defiance. He doesn't care what anyone says. He'll do what he wants on his own terms. Classic Whyte, brushing off critics, doubling down on self-belief. And sometimes, that stubbornness is a strength. Other times, it's the reason fighters walk straight into a beating. Ignoring the noise is one thing. Ignoring genuine warnings from seasoned voices like Johnny Nelson, Derek Chisora, and Liam Smith is another. Whyte's focus on family and doing things his way is admirable, but boxing doesn't forgive those who underestimate the storm in front of them. Moses Itauma isn't just another opponent, he's young, hungry, and a precision puncher with the engine to fight at a pace Whyte hasn't faced in years. If Whyte thinks he can simply stick to his old ways without adapting, he may find out the hard way that Itauma isn't here to play along.
Say I just do what I believe in. I say, yeah, okay, cool, and just do whatever the fuck I want anyway. So yeah, I don't really, I try and focus on me and what I'm doing and what my kids and family is doing. I don't care about some idiots' attention land. Who is these people?
This isn't just another date on the boxing calendar. It's a collision between a rising storm and a fading warrior. The stakes, massive. If Moses Itauma wins, he doesn't just beat Dillian Whyte. He smashes through the old guard, cements himself as the next big thing, and sends shockwaves through the heavyweight division. But if YT pulls off the upset, it would be one of the most dramatic twists in recent memory. A reminder that raw power and grit can still humble youth and hype. Mentally, Itauma looks like the Predator, sharp, fearless, convinced of his destiny. YT, though battle-tested, carries the air of a man fighting more than just an opponent. He's fighting time, doubt, and the crushing weight of public opinion. Every expert, every fan, every rival will be watching to see if this is the coronation of a future champion or the rebirth of an old warrior. And when that first bell rings, there's no hiding. So who are you backing? The young lion Moses Itauma to tear through YT, or the veteran Dillian Whyte to shock the world? Drop your prediction below. The debate starts now.